9.17 notes. Riot's had some ups and downs with the last couple of patches. I think general popular opinion has been that they've kind of been on a downward trend. 9.16 wasn't bad. They made a couple necessary changes. So let's get into 9.17, see if they can kind of bring it back in, rein it in with an actual quality patch. Hey, buff herders! We're still holding off on going too crazy with balance changes until after 9.19 because that's when Worlds is being played on. We do have some bigger adjustments to Kayle and Kayle. They've got some mini reworks going on. You've probably seen a little bit of them. Okay. So, Kayle. I'm not going to spend too much time on these because there's been entire videos on other channels dedicated to going over the reworks. Basically, they're just giving Aurelion Sol a little bit more agency, a little more a little bit more of a well-defined identity and like why people play that champion. Galio, this is one of the champs that they just have not been able to balance correctly. They've completely destroyed his ability to support. They took out his flash taunt where he would charge up his taunt and then flash into a team, and that's basically the only reason people played him. So his win rate dropped to somewhere around 43-44%. The past two patches have been just like kind of minor buffs trying to get him back into the play rate. Galio's been underperforming for the last few patches. Understatement. We're helping him out to keep him competitive against other choices. Q is a 2-second cooldown reduction. W is the minimum damage. Actually doubles level 1. Minimum damage, maximum damage doubles. Okay. So, this still isn't going to make Galio a very viable pick, honestly. They've removed, like, the biggest mechanical feature of the champion, and while I think it was good to remove that ability, I think they should also be consistent with removing it with other champions. Things like Sejuani, who can dash and then flash into a team, Gragas, who can channel his flash and then dash into a team. Like, if you're going to remove it off of one champion, you should probably be consistent and take it off the others. But that being said, I still don't see Galio's win rate even nearing 50%. I'd say it's probably going to peak out somewhere around 46-47%. So, rest in peace, Galio. The tombstone continues. Kalista. Is this a Kalista buff? Base attack damage, mana, and mana growth increase, buffing Kalista in the specific way so she can succeed more in the hands of an average player and generally in a wide range of games. I'm okay with this. Kalista is literally never seen in solo queue. She has less than like a 0.5% pick rate, I'm pretty sure. You never see them. Most of even the Kalista one-tricks have given up on the champ, and this is a very moderate buff. This isn't like anything too crazy. So, that's a thumbs up. Good job. Kayle rework. Basically, not going to spend too much time, just like the Kayle one. Kayle is getting a mini rework where she's not completely worthless in lane. She scales a little bit more evenly rather than just like spiking at level 11 and 16. Yeah, it is what it is. This is a big one, boys. This is going to break the patch. I'm dead serious. Leona is being played already in competitive play, if you've been watching LEC. She's a highly contested... She's not a highly contested pick in Korea, but she's picked in Korea. I would say she's like tier 2, right behind like Thresh, Pyke, champions like that. She's not played that often on NA, and I wouldn't say that she's like terrible. She's like middle of the road on NA. I don't know if it's just a playstyle difference, but this is huge, you guys. 6 seconds to 5 seconds. That may not seem like a lot to people who don't play Leona, but I'm telling you, as someone who has thousands of games played on her, 1 second is huge on that. Huge, huge, huge. Just some of the ramifications are you can now, if you've got Cosmic Insight, you've got 45% CDR. It's you get your Q cooldown down to 2.75 seconds, which means you can engage with Q late game, like you flash Q someone, dump the R, dump the E, and by the time that CC wears off, your Q will be back up, which results in 4 seconds of CC. So again, you can flash Q, you can auto E, you can dump your R, and by the time the stun of your R wears off, your Q is back up. That's insane. That's actually nuts. This still isn't going to be making you like change your max order or anything like that, because the cooldown is not going to lower with abilities. So unless you're playing something cheesy like Leona jungle, Leona top, you're not going to be putting multiple points into Q before maxing your your WE. Bring back Leona E Flash. Leona E Flash is in the game. It's in the game. You can do that. But anyways, Yeah, you are still Leona at the end of the day, and that's why I think because Leona has such a binary like bad kit. I'm just gonna say she's a bad kit. Compared to all these new champions that come out that have mobility and invisibility and iframes and invulnerability frames, Leona has a bad kit. So if she has a bad kit, she needs good numbers to make up for it. That's why we've seen over the past like 4 months, Leona's gotten some tweaks to her numbers because she's a very binary kit, which means she needs to be binary balanced. You need one or the other. You have to have a good kit or good numbers. So Leona's getting good numbers. So I would say look to see me spamming a lot of Leona in this next patch. Lucian, base AD increased, giving Lucian a bit more power in the early laning phase. 3 AD, it's pretty significant on a champion like Lucian who like pops off with multiple autos for trade. I would say Lucian Leona spam this patch, boys. It's interesting. I really don't feel like Lucian's that weak. Okay, so Neeko. Neeko can now deactivate her passive without taking damage or casting another ability, giving Neeko a quality of life so she could return to her own form without having to expend a resource or take damage. I'm trying to think of like an actual use of that, like why you would want that. I guess for the movement speed, like let's say you disguise yourself, you're actually able to lower your innate movement speed, so you want to take that off so you can undisguise yourself. I can't think of any actual usage for it outside of that. I think it's a very, very small quality of life change. Do you max E first? I've been doing that lately. Okay, so back to Leona. If you are really, really confident in your matchup knowledge and you understand that you're going to be significantly less tanky if you don't max W, and you need the constant just bombardment of engages that Emax gives you, you can max E. I want to be maxing it every game. Max W is the default. Max E when you're either super far ahead and you want to snowball, or you really, really have like strong game knowledge of the matchups. Pantheon, Q thrust now grant execute damage. Okay, so kind of a throwback to his old kit before his rework, where his Q was dealing execute damage. E-monster damage reduction removed. I'm okay with this. I actually said today, I was playing a Bard game, and I was out-damaging the enemy top laner Pantheon. And I don't think people want to hear this, but I think Pantheon actually needs a little bit more damage. So I'm okay with this change as well. He feels... I like his kit. If anything, I think in the future they can watch his win rate and numbers and tone down his E and remove the invulnerability aspect of it. But I'm okay with him being like a high bursty, high damage champion. And he doesn't do very much damage right now, so this is a good change. Qiyana, E base damage decreased, cooldown flattened. Qiyana's early trade damage makes her stronger than she should be in lane. That coupled with her near constant ults later is a bit too overbearing. Really good change as well. Wow, harsh change. Very harsh change. I didn't realize how harsh that was. 40 seconds. Wow. Honestly, as someone who doesn't like playing against Qiyana, and I think she's really strong, that seems a little much. I would have been okay with like just this change and like seeing how that goes. You know what I mean? Or like, you know, 120 to like 90 or something, or 80 to like 100 for late game. 40 seconds is a really big deal in late game. Okay, Ryze, base damage magic resist increased. Now that Ryze has proved he can be useful without overloading his enemies in competitive play, we think it's safe to give him a single smidge more survivability. This is basically nothing, except in the very particular matchups. This isn't gonna like make Ryze's play rate spike or anything. Zyra, R cost flattened, cooldown decreased. We're giving Zyra more opportunities to burst her enemies. Stranglethorn's cost 140 to 100 at all ranks. I honestly, I would be okay with them like making this a standard change across most champions, if not all champions. I've always thought it was kind of stupid that like you're basically forced to put points into your R, and then the mana cost increases. Like, in some champions, it actually, like, punishes you. Anyways, that's fine. Cooldown 130 to 110, 90. Somewhat significant. But Zyra's not, like, at all problematic right now, so decent change, whatever change. Free-to-play champion rotation. In 2017, players at... Yeah, exactly. It sucks for Nami W, which is already a mana-expensive thing. But especially for ultimates. Like, it really feels bad to, like... put a second point into your ultimate and then not be able to cast it because it's too much mana. And it's a lot of mana sometimes. But yeah, 2017 players asked us to expand the weekly free champion rotation beyond just 10 champions. As a result, we updated our model to 10% of the available champions. With Qiyana, we're officially at 145. As promised, we're officially increasing the champions to 15. Yay. Bug fixes. Soraka now properly heals herself with R Wish for more when she's under 40%. I've been spamming Soraka on my D1 account, and I didn't even know this was a bug, so yay. Certain champions' movement abilities are now properly disabled when they're grounded. Malphite's R, Camille's Hawkshot. Rek'Sai no longer gains a short can't be disabled buff if her target dies as she starts Void Rush. Rek'Sai no longer gains a short can't be displaced buff if her target dies as she starts Void Rush. Okay. Nothing very big in these bug fixes, I'm not saying. Dash speed is now at its proper speed. Silas dies immediately after casting Pantheon's R. He will no longer be locked out. Sivir's Ricochet now properly bounces when recast when she reaches 45% CDR by holding Spear of Shojin. Static Shiv will no longer hit targets outside of Mordekaiser's R. I don't think I've seen any of these bugs. At least not consciously. Okay, so that's all for balance stuff. Upcoming skins. Wait, that's actually like such a good splash art. I don't remember being impressed by the skin itself, but this is giving me some Majora's Mask vibes. Like hardcore. Is anyone else seeing that? Okay. The hottest skin Riot has ever put out. Oh my god, can I even show that without getting demonetized? Elderwood Nocturne, it's whatever. I wasn't impressed by these Infernal skins either. And it's kind of lazy to have them all be in the same splash, but whatever. So that's it. Not a super huge patch. Like they said, they're kind of playing it safe before Worlds. I would say the biggest change is honestly, maybe I'm a little biased, but biggest change is probably the Leona Q. Well, the Kayle and Aurelion Soul stuff is big for people that like to play those champions. But as for bot lane, I would expect to see a little bit more Lucian and a lot bit more Leona. I really don't think they realize like how strong this is going to make her. But hey, they'll know soon enough. But guys, if you have any questions or comments about the patch, let me know down in the comments. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.